Oh, okay. That's not good. All right. Good morning. Welcome to Qigong Practice. I'm Amy Ward-Brimmer, and I hope you're here live. We do this streaming live through the YouTube channel every Friday morning at 9:30 Eastern. If you're watching this as a recording, that's awesome too. Depending on where you are, Fridays at 9:30 on the East Coast might not be possible. So there will be weekly, and there have been weekly recordings available since September. We'll be continuing that through the next few weeks here in December. And you can always come back to this channel, especially if you subscribe, you'll know when new videos are posted. I offer this freely, but it would be really awesome if you're using these regularly or finding this useful for yourself and your health. If you would please make a donation of any amount. That makes it possible for me to continue offering these for free for folks who don't have the means. And in the description of every video, there is a link to the PayPal where you can make a donation. Or you could go to the Way Opens Wellness website, wayopenswellness.com, and scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and you'll see chances for giving there. So we always start with our warm-up, and the warm-up is primarily to open the joints of the body so that the qi can flow more easily. And it also is a time for us to gather our attention in. Qigong is a form of wellness exercise that basically is meditation in motion. So we talk about it being movement, breath, and awareness. And the awareness is key. As my teacher likes to say, where the mind is, that's where the qi will be. So we begin with the simple arm swinging to open up the shoulders, the arms, the legs. You can feel your knees bouncing just a little bit as you get some momentum going with this move. You might think of this as pumping energy up from the earth through the feet. If you're familiar with Tai Chi or 5-element Chinese theory or acupuncture, acupressure, meridian theory, we're pumping energy up through triple warmer in the feet. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. Just feel that connection through your feet to the ground. Feel this gentle swinging of the arms, beginning to shift the energy in your body. This should be so gentle and easy to do that, you could stand here basically for the whole 45 minutes or so that we'll be together and just swing your arms and not get tired. So we won't do that because that would be kind of dull, just swinging arms for 45 minutes. But the idea being that, don't over effort with this. Yeah, just let the physics of pendulum swinging open up your chest, your shoulders, upper back. Feel those shoulder blades moving in back. Good. And then we can gradually bring this to a close. All right. And then we're going to go side to side in a spiral. Very floppy arms. Let them tap against your body as they wrap around. Imagine that there's just like long sleeves of a shirt, right, with no arms in them. So floppy. And as you spiral side to side, they wrap around. I'm going to apologize now for having quite a interesting time with my sinuses. And Qigong always opens them. So that's why one reason Qigong is really good for respiratory issues. So as we go, you may see me coughing or clearing things. I have some allergies, some dust allergies that have been acting up. So, but you'll notice as we breathe that your breathing will change, and you may notice your own sinuses opening up. It's a natural effect of this practice. So breathing in, and then as you exhale, let the head roll forward. Just let it hang there for a minute and appreciate that little stretch. You might turn the head side to side to increase the stretch back there a little bit on each side. And then as you're ready, bringing the head around in circles to open up the neck and the throat. The neck rolls. It's also the perfect way to release your jaw. So when your head's hanging back, let the jaw go. If you'd like, you can coordinate your breathing by breathing in as you come around one side, breathe out as you come around the other. Change direction. Go the other way, but the same thing, being very aware of how the weight of the head can free up the muscles of the neck, the upper back, the shoulders. See if you can appreciate this part of your body. Give it some ease and freedom. Good. Hanging the hands and arms over the back of the head, if that feels safe for your neck. Put a little extra pressure there. Big breath in and out. And on your exhale, we're going to move through the spine, rolling down the spine. Let the arms just hang. Crown of the head heading for your feet. And you can bend the knees as you do this, unless you really want to stretch in the backs of your legs. The idea is we're just going to be hanging over from the hips, shaking everything out, letting gravity take any tension or holding that's going on. And then when you're ready on an inhale, pressing into the heels and the feet, letting the legs lift you. And then you're going to let the spine uncurl and lengthen all the way up to the top of your head. Good. Shoulder rolls. Very similar to neck rolls. Good, we're going to go the other way now. Good. Crossing at the wrists in front, I'm going to throw the arms back and away. And we alternate which hand is on top each time, just to keep it interesting, just to keep us aware and connected. It's like we're tossing away any tension in the arms, freeing up the elbows in particular, making sure you're not locked in your elbows. This might also feel real good across the chest and the collarbone, as you're getting a little stretch there. Good, and then letting that come to stillness. Now we'll just focus on the wrists. So crossing the wrists and rolling them around one another. Do that maybe half a dozen times in each direction. Really exploring the full range of motion in your wrists. If you have wrist issues, then just be really gentle and kind with this. And just do what you can. That's true for everything we do. I haven't really said that recently at the top of a session, but really anything that we do in here can be done either seated or you modify it. So if this shoulder, your arm only goes this high, then that's fine, Bring the one arm up or just do the move on one side. You'll see as we get into it. Okay, finger joints. So we've got shoulders, elbows, wrists, and fingers. Lots of little joints in the fingers. We're going to open and close the hands. As we breathe in, lift up, and then breathe out, come down. Inhaling, expanding up, even as you're working those finger joints. Good, expanding out like that. Let's do that one more time. This is just kind of naturally what we do when we first wake up, right? And so you can think of this whole process of Qigong as a way of waking up. All right, we've gotten the joints from, let's see, top of the head, the neck, the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the fingers. Let's move through the rib cage now. It might help to put a hand here. That's why I'm doing that. We're going to inhale and lift the breastbone, the sternum up toward the ceiling on an inhale. And as you breathe out, curving that thoracic spine, those ribs forward. So it's not the whole spine. We're not doing like a standing cat and cow in yoga. We're just seeing if we can isolate and just move through the rib cage as we breathe in and out. So we're inhaling, lifting up. And exhaling and collapsing into a curve forward. It's okay. This is a time we want to round the back and hang forward. Yeah, and just at your own pace, see if you can explore this movement with just the ribs, the rib part of the spine. Having all that congestion, so this is freeing it all up. Good. All right, come back to center. We're going to extend the arms out so that we can try to reach out side to side now with the ribs. The rib cage, or as the Germans call it, the rib basket, which is, I think, a nicer image than a cage. Yeah, good. All right, come back to center. Give your lower back a little massage if you'd like, especially if, that lumbar region, that right below the ribs, right above the pelvis, and that curve there, things are a little tweaky today. Give yourself a little gentle touch, massage, whatever feels good. Then we're going to pound right over the the sacrum at the base of the spine and all the buttocks muscles, those big, strong glutes, and many other big, strong muscles in there that keep us supported. But we want to kind of pound out any kind of stuck energy. So not that you're hurting yourself. Hopefully this feels good. If it doesn't, don't do it. And come back to the front here. Now we're going to wake up the legs a little by lightly slapping down the front of the legs, up the sides, down the insides, and up the backs. And why do we do this? I mean, we're not really hitting ourselves. It's just to kind of wake up the muscles, because now we're going to go into some pelvic rotations. And again, if you can coordinate your breathing with these pelvic circles, that's great preparation for the form, because the Qigong form is really moving by following the breathing pace. And so we want to be coordinating our movement and our breath if we can. So you might inhale around one side of the circle, exhale on the other. If you want to do this faster, that's fine. Sometimes a more vigorous kind of, hip pelvic rotation feels better. So just really listen to your body. I mean, that's definitely the advice for the whole practice. But right now, really listen in to see what are your hips, lower back, pelvis, pelvic floor, groin. What does that need right now? Does it need slow or maybe a little more fast? Just feel your way through that. And I'm sorry, if you haven't changed direction yet, please do that. Go the other way. Biggest movable joints in your body. Yeah, so wiggle it out a little. Now we're going to focus on the knees. Do some knee circles in both directions. And then we'll work the ankles. So I'm just standing, not holding on to anything, but if you need a chair or a table or something to hold on to the wall so that you can stay balanced, that's fine. So we're going to point and flex, or you can also sit and do this. So that's possible too. And then pointing and flexing, and then we'll do circles of the ankles in both directions. If you don't regularly move through your ankles like this, circles or pointing and flexing, you might want to start keeping the ankles very open, soft, responsive. You'll have better balance. So then we go into this pedaling, this bicycle motion, as though you're pedaling a bike. And you can feel how the hip, the knee, and the ankle all coordinate. They're designed to work together. Yeah. And just stand for a moment. You might be able to feel a difference between one leg and the other. If not, that's not a problem, but just take a moment to go, oh, yeah, we worked that leg and that's how it feels in this one. Not yet. So point and flex on the other foot and circles. And then, good. Bring that foot back right underneath your hip joints. Find your hip joints with your fingers if you need to. If you're not sure where they are, the hips are the things that bend, right? Again, biggest movable joint in your body. So feet positioned in a parallel. In parallel, if you can, possibly slightly turned out if that feels more stable for you. But right underneath your hips. And we'll touch into Dantian, the center of energy and actually the center of gravitational balance in the body. About 3 inches below your belly button. You could find your hip bones on the other side and draw a line straight in. It's right about there. And it's behind your hands. Just for those of you who aren't familiar with this energy center. So if your pelvis is a bowl, which sort of is an oval-shaped bowl, Dantian, the energy center, would be hovering, just located right in the middle, so right behind the hands. And it's often described as a pearl, a beautiful pearl. And it's said that when we breathe in and out with awareness, we're polishing that pearl, that great pearl of energy in center. So let's take in 3 full breaths through the nose and then let it out through the mouth. And as you do this, awareness of Dantian. Polishing that pearl. Good. And then let the breath for a few moments, return to a natural pace. And as you breathe, you can feel your hands moving. When you inhale, there's a little rise in the abdomen. When you exhale, there's a little release back down. It's like the belly moves out and away on the in-breath and back in and toward the spine on the out-breath. So bring your hands not one over the other, but next to each other. I like to have my fingertips touching. And let your hands rest for a moment on the body. And as you inhale and you feel the belly rising, let the hands come away from the body, about an inch or two. Let them just hover there right in front of what we call Dantian, center. And as you breathe in, hands come away. As you breathe out, they return. Let's do that for several breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. Just find your body's own natural breathing. Follow it with your hands. Good. Now we're going to cup one hand over the other as though you're holding something in between your hands, which you are. And we're going to call this a chi ball. Chi ball is an orb of energy. And if you move your palms in and out from each other, you may be able to feel a little bit of magnetic pull, a little bit of the tiniest little resistance. Right? If you can't feel it, don't worry. This is something that takes a little bit of practice. It's like learning a language or playing an instrument. So just know that we don't stop at our skin, that there is something called the human energy field that extends out, in some cases, several feet in all directions from a body, but generally, about a foot, 6 inches to a foot, you can really feel, and it's been photographed. So anyway, this is our human energy field. And since everything is energy, everything is life energy, we can feel, we can hold the chi ball. And you can pretend to play or actually play if you can feel it. Good. So we're going to breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just getting used to the sense of this relationship of the palms of the hands to energy and to the breath. So we're about to move into the form where we're going to be moving the hands very far away from each other, or maybe only one hand moves, or they move in opposite directions. And we want to stay centered in awareness. Again, the awareness of movement, breath, and awareness is the key feature. This is a time to play and experiment. What can I feel? How can I breathe? Can I do this with more ease? And how is the energy flowing? So we'll be flowing from one move to the other, and I'll give a few tips for each move of the 18 moves. But essentially, we're going to play this morning with energy flow. So that's where we're going to keep our attention. For those of you who've been practicing this form for a while, that will be your main object of focus for this moving meditation. If you're following along for the first time, or you really are still learning the form, don't worry about it. Do your best and let that be good enough. Raising the chi. We're inhaling and exhaling. Breathing in and out. Best to be breathing in and out through the nose if you can. On the out breath, we're sinking a little bit of bend in the knee. Harmonizing the energy of what's below, the energy of the earth, with what's above, the energy of the heavens. Each of the 18 moves, we do anywhere from 8 to 12 times in repetition. That's for the full form. This opening move, often more. It establishes your pace, which may be different than mine. So don't feel you have to breathe at the same rate that I'm breathing. And repeating this in the beginning until you feel really connected, both to the practice and to your body-mind. Then we move into opening the heart to what is. We breathe in, open the chi between the hands. Breathe out, bring it back together and down. Focus on lightness, ease, flow, energy between the hands. Nice and light, making a circle with the arms. Don't open the hands so far that you're squeezing your shoulder blades and back. Just nice, open, light circles. And then we inhale and move into swinging the rainbow. We're breathing up, and then as we exhale, curving to the side. Breathing in again to come back to center, then exhaling over to the other side. As though we're swinging a rainbow of chi between the hands. And keeping Dantian in mind, because the curving begins at center, in the pelvis. We're not waving our arms from side to side. We are curving the spine on the side. And because the arms are attached, they follow. They go with it. So there's a lot to pay attention to in this one. You want to stay with center. You want to be aware of the chi from side to side. And we're breathing. We're breathing easily and fully. Let's do one more to each side of swinging the rainbow. And coming up to center, we'll exhale and squat down. Cross at the wrists, inhale. When you get back up, palms toward the sky as you exhale. This is called parting the clouds. So we're coming down to earth and we're lifting that earth energy up. And then parting the clouds, spreading it above the heavens. That's the image anyway. Now it's perfectly fine to just come down to about knee height if you can't get all the way to the ground. Palms toward the sky. Looking up, and then as you part the clouds, looking straight ahead. So again, we're looking up, but as soon as we start that swiping motion, bring your head forward. And the reason for that is so that you're not crunching your neck. All of these moves are meant to move the flow of qi through the body. So we don't want to be cutting off any conduits. Good. When you have next exhaled, leave the arms extended, and we're going to begin spiraling side to side with the arms out like this. This is called floating silk through the air. And I think traditionally the image is as though you've got a long length of light fabric like silk between your hands, and you're just floating it in this spiraling way. But I actually find it also helpful to think of the arms themselves as light as silk, so that you're not straining in the arms, and you're not waving your arms side to side. You're spiraling from here, and because the arms are outstretched and they're attached, they will follow. And focusing on the life energy, the qi between the hands. Can you feel flow here? Good. We're going to exhale, come down. Inhale, lift the hands up and overhead, and then exhale again. This is a rowing across the big lake. So this is really a rowing motion, as though you have oars in your hands. And you're not leaning forward too far. You're really sitting straight down. So let the legs bend. So the legs are lowering you as you're rowing, and then lifting as you lift up. Keep it simple. Good. We're going to inhale, sweep one hand across and up. Exhale, bring it back down again. This is raising the sun, as though you're lifting the sun and then bringing it back down again. So we're breathing in, breathing out. When you lift a hand, you're going to lift the heel of the foot on that same side. So as you're sweeping your hand upward, also lifting the heel, and then they both come back down again. And you'll notice right here where we switch, it's a chi ball. So it's almost like the hand is passing the chi to the other hand, and then it lifts it and then brings it back down. Good, and then we're going to continue that with both hands, although not lifting any heels. This is gazing at the moon. So we're breathing in, breathing out. Exhaling and coming back to home base, center right here. Inhale, pull one hand back, and exhale, pushing out with the palm. Then we're going to turn and make a grabbing motion and inhale, come back to center. This one's called gathering lotus leaves. So you're exhaling, you're turning, gathering in on the in-breath. You can imagine gathering whatever you need today. It doesn't have to be a lotus. Maybe you need patience. Gather it in on the in-breath. Maybe you need inspiration. Bring it home. Good. We're going to inhale and bring a hand right up in front of the eyes. Exhale as you spiral over to the side. Inhale, bring the next hand up, spiral over to the other side, and breathe out. Breathing in, breathing out. This is waving at clouds. And so you're looking at the palm of your hand as you spiral. Then the next cloud rises up, and then bye-bye. So the hand is the cloud. We're also waving with the hand. The hand that's not waving, that you're not looking at, hovers right over Dantian. Right? When in doubt, come home. Come home to your center. Good. We'll come back to neutral again. We're going to inhale. Step forward, exhale into a lunge and scoop the ocean. Lean back, breathe in, look at the sky. This one's got a lot of moving parts. So if you're new to this, be patient. We're leaning back on the inhale, looking up at the sky, lifting the toes in front. And the back foot's pushing us forward to scoop the ocean. Imagine being right at the water's edge, scooping some water up, and then leaning on that back foot, looking at the sky. As you lunge forward, as you push off with that back foot, you're going to lift the heel there. And then as you lean back, send that heel back and down for your support. Good. Exhaling one more time forward, scoop it up. Bring that life chi up and spread it around. Now you can bring that front foot back. We're going to step out on the other side and repeat. So we're just going to scoop on that side too. Look at the sky. Good, bring the front foot back. Palms forward at shoulder height. Again, we're gonna inhale and then on an exhale, lunging forward for pushing the waves. Good, bring the front foot back. Inhale, step out on the other side. Repeat. Back foot is pushing you forward. So as you come forward, don't bring your upper body forward to fall forward. In fact, you could leave your hands out of it just to make sure that it's your legs that are bringing you back and forth, even as you're pushing out. Good, last one on this side. We'll push the waves. Inhale, bring the front foot back. Now again, on an exhale, we're going to step forward into a lunge, and this time, flying dove spreads its wings. So on the exhale, we're opening, making the circle with the arms, bringing the fingers toward each other, then inhaling, palms toward the heart. But still, it's the legs moving you back and forth. And in this one, we don't lift toes or heels. So the feet are really securely connected to the earth. See if you can just feel the steadiness of simply shifting your weight back and forth, letting the legs do what they're designed to do. Good, bring the front foot back, step out on the other side and repeat. Last one. Good, bring the front foot back. Loose fists right at hip height, at your hip bones. You're gonna exhale, extend, turn, inhale, bring it back. Breathing out, sinking in the knees a little bit, coming down like this a little bit as you extend, then turn, bring it home. This is dragon emerging from the sea. Keep it simple. Straight out from the shoulder if you can. Good, now we're gonna widen the stance just a little bit for stability. Sorry, because we're gonna do a big inhale up. Backs of the hands touch and exhale back down into a little kind of a plie, again, like you're sitting down. So we're not falling forward, we're lifting up on an inhale and coming straight down on the exhale, flying wild goose. Good, exhaling down, and on your next inhalation, we can begin the windmill. So we're exhaling as we bring the hands down, inhaling as we lift the palms up in a circle. So we're breathing out, breathing in, and go the other way. But still breathing out as you bring the palms down toward the ground, breathing in as you lift them up toward the sky. Your arms are extended, but they're not stiff. Keep it light. Good. Bring the arms back down to your sides. Inhale, opposite hand and foot lift. Exhale, they come down. Walking through the tall grass, this one's called. Walking through the tall grass, walking through taffy, walking through molasses, stepping out of samsara. And there are many names for this one. Samsara is the Buddhist term for cycles of suffering. Essentially what it is to be a human being alive on planet Earth. Stepping out of samsara. This is a nice one if you're in the midst of making a fundamental change in your life. You're stepping out of the old patterns, stepping into some new ones maybe. And look how you can be balanced as you walk. Let's do one more on each side. And the final move is called gathering the fragrance of the earth. So we're going to inhale and do this gathering motion, bringing the hands palm up to about here. Then we flip them and breathe out. Come back to center. Gather it in on the inhale. Bring it home on the exhale. And we end the way we begin, touching into center, Dantian. Just feeling now the effects of these moves as you stand. And as you stand, how is it in the feet? How are your feet contacting the ground? How are your knees? Are they soft and available for bending? And how is it in the pelvis and the lower back? And can you feel your spine rising up? Is there a sense of height and lengthening? We've just opened a big conduit at the top of the head, blended, harmonized the energy of the earth with the energy of the heavens. Can you sense the sky above you? Now we're going to spread a little chi through the abdomen using our own touch. You can do this off the body if you want. I like to do it on the body because it just feels good. But you can do what feels best for you. We'll just make bigger and bigger and bigger circles. Then we're going to reverse. Take those big circles the other direction, and then gradually they'll get smaller and smaller and smaller until they come to rest back here at center. Now we're going to spread some chi across. And in the back of your hand is sweeping sort of right at the base of your spine, right at the back of the pelvis, at the sacrum. Good. Then one shoulder to the opposite hip on each side. This is touching into the flow for the lymph system in the body, according to Chinese medicine, Asian 5-element theory, and a bunch of other stuff that I am not trained in, but some of you might be. Or you might go to an acupuncturist or a trigger point therapist who works with your meridians. If you come to me for somatic release body work, I'll be working with your meridians. Yeah, good. So we'll let that come to a close. And then let's rub our hands together, nice and warm. Place them right at the small of your back. Basically, when you bend your elbows and reach back there, wherever your hands land, it's where they fit most nicely in the sacred geometry of the body. Take a couple breaths in and see if you can just receive your own touch back here and feel how your connection to yourself here is supportive. I think of this as we literally have our own backs when we do this. We literally do. So your back is there, you're supported. And we'll bring one hand out to be the moon. Make a light fist on the right to be the sun. We'll bring the sun and the moon together in a salute and a bow. And the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for your practice today. It's a pleasure to be with you. Again, if you are finding this helpful and you'd like to see it continue, please make as generous a donation as you can so that I can keep offering this free of charge for those who don't have the means that perhaps you and I do. You can make a donation at the PayPal site that's listed in the description of this video, or you can go to wayopenswellness.com and scroll down the home page and you'll see a place for gifts and giving. I really appreciate your engagement and your support. Have a wonderful day.